Welcome to Business Insider Africa. Today we're exploring the economic landscape of Africa by focusing on intra-African trade. While the continent's overall trade is growing, some countries still lag behind in their export revenue within Africa. Intra-African trade plays a vital role in boosting economic cooperation, political stability, and regional integration. However, some countries are seeing significantly lower returns from this trade compared to others. Let's dive into the top 10 African countries with the lowest revenue from intra-African exports. Starting at number 1 is Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde reported no significant intra-African exports, showing a decline in trade engagement with other African countries. Number 2 is South Sudan. South Sudan's intra-African export revenue is negligible despite a high growth rate, reflecting its limited trade activities with neighboring nations. At number 3, we have the Central African Republic. The Central African Republic has minimal intra-African exports, with a slight decline in its trade revenue over the past year. Number 4 is Chad. Chad has a modest amount of intra-African exports, showing some growth but still relatively low in comparison to other African nations. Coming in at number 5 is Comoros. Comoros has seen a small decline in its intra-African export revenue, reflecting its limited trade volume within the continent. Number 6 is Liberia. Liberia's intra-African export revenue is low despite an impressive growth rate indicating recent but still modest trade activity. At number 7 is Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau has seen some growth in its intra-African exports, though it remains among the lower end of the scale. Number 8 is Seychelles. Seychelles has a relatively small volume of intra-African exports, showing steady but limited growth. In the 9th spot is Somalia. Somalia's intra-African export revenue is minimal, with a decline in trade activities over the past year. And finally, at number 10 is Gambia. Gambia has seen a small increase in its intra-African exports, but its revenue remains low compared to other countries. The disparity in intra-African export revenues highlights the need for more robust trade policies and integration efforts across the continent. Enhancing trade relationships could lead to greater economic stability and growth for these nations. For more insights into Africa's economic dynamics, subscribe to Business Insider Africa. Stay tuned for more updates and analyses.